man watching knows that it wasn't the 101st blow that made that stone split. It was the 100 previous blows that made it finally happen.
And the Spurs have pushed their winning streak to 11.
It's the only saying in our locker room, but to us it means that you can't skip steps, that it will be a long journey, that it will be difficult. You don't know when it's going to happen.
And a true team effort tonight. Tim Duncan and the crew ahead of the locker room. 12 straight for the Spurs.
But it's important to stay the road. It's important to continue to work through ups and downs, to not stop, and to know that at some point, if you're persistent, it can happen.
Although they wouldn't catch Dallas or Phoenix, the Spurs had the best record in the league in the second half of the season. And while they still weren't the favorites going into the playoffs, they didn't care. They had split the stone, and that's all that mattered to them.
Good evening and welcome to the AT&T Center for Game 1 of this opening round playoff series between the third-seeded Spurs and the sixth-seeded Nuggets.
The Spurs entered the playoffs on a roll, and they figured to have momentum on their side. But they found out that that wouldn't be the case.
Besides us, in my opinion, the hottest team at that time was Denver.
Look at the slashing move by Iverson inside for two.
He's fearless.
Shot clock Carmelo Anthony.
This is not right. Why do we have to play this good a team this early in the playoffs?
Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson were the highest scoring duo in the league. And in Game 1, they took the home court advantage from the Spurs.
Those two scores put in 60 combined points. I was like, oh man, this is going to be a long series.
Spurs are in trouble here. This could be very, very interesting here coming into a Game 2.
The sense of urgency has gone up another level. They've taken away our advantage that we had.
Going into Game 2, the Spurs needed their big three of Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili to best Denver's dynamic duo.
Duncan on me, inside with the flush.
But Iverson and Anthony were matching them.
Iverson, it's a three, and it's good.
The Spurs needed something extra, and their role players, led by Robert Horry, would give it to them.
Iverson with the steal.
Somehow Iverson ends up with a loose ball, and it looks like he's going in for a layup, and Robert turns back the clock and comes sprinting from the backboard.
Parker gets back denied by Robert Horry, trailing the play.
Hits it off the backboard. We get the ball. We go the other way.
Is this Ginobili's chance to get involved? Watch that play down right there. Absolutely huge.
Suddenly what was about to become, I think, a 1-point game, 2-point game, now it's a 5- or 6-point game.
Bowen with the steal. Five straight Ginobili. And timeout taken by George Karl and the Nuggets.
You have Chiefs and you have Indians. You have the head guys like Tim, Tony, and Manu. Then you have the Indians like myself, Bruce, Finn, who's not going to get a lot of credit. You have to have guys who do the little things, the guys who go out there and just work hard for your team to make you successful.
The Spurs had done more than tie the series. They had started a trend. And as the games moved to Denver, their role players continued to make big plays.
Nice steal. Horry for three. Unbelievable play. Here's Blake drawing a double. Pass intercepted by Bowen. 2-on-1 with Ginobili. Getting by Iverson, and Bowen slamming it down.
The other team's always going in the locker room going, we had him, man. They got a call, that guy made a shot. Something happened down the stretch. But when you do it a lot, you start to see that it's not an accident. There's a pattern there.
And in the pivotal moments of Game 4, the Spurs' most familiar pattern played out again.
The game is going on and it's starting to get real tense, and your heart rate's up and you're not exactly sure what's going to happen. And then you see the ball find its way into Robert's hands.
Parker into Iverson.
And then, he kind of gets that leg in that tripod stance of his and he plants it and the ball's off. And you just know that it's got a great chance of going in.
Outside for Horry, over Camby. Are you kidding me? Oh, what a shot! Robert Horry has done it again! Big shot Rob with a big-time triple!
And finally, in Game 5, Michael Finley sent the Nuggets home for the summer.
There's Finley, another big three for Michael Finley.
Gets it off to the left corner. Finley for three. He did it again. That's his 8th three-pointer.
You know, I think those role players sometimes are what separates you. You know, you have the two superstars with Denver and the big three for us. But I think those guys separated us from Denver.
The San Antonio Spurs, after losing Game 1, will win 4 consecutive and will advance to the second round.
I'm enjoying the moment. I'm with a great group of guys, and this opportunity doesn't come about in people's careers too often, so I'm definitely making the most of it.
The Golden State Warriors have pulled off the biggest playoff upset in NBA history as they dispatch the 67-win Dallas Mavericks.
With Dallas gone, Phoenix, the Spurs' next opponent, was now considered the favorites to win the West. The Suns were led by two-time MVP Steve Nash, and they were the popular choice.
I think everybody outside of this organization picked Phoenix to beat us. We like being the quote-unquote underdog.
Nobody talks about us because we don't have that flash, and we like that. That way we can just be stealth and fly under the radar.
Welcome to Phoenix, Arizona. As the second round of the NBA playoffs underway. We've got a great matchup for you of two great teams.
Everybody kept talking about that Phoenix Suns could win a championship this year. The hype was there, the intensity was there. We just wanted a chance.
As the series started, both teams played to their strengths.
Duncan left of the lane. Now is able to push off. Shot off the glass and in.
And here come the Suns. Into the front court, it's Nash. Nash probing. Nash all right.
But just when it looked like Nash was going to put his stamp on the game, the other point guard took over.
Parker back to way beyond the three-point arc now. Parker on the drive. Parker to the basket. He scores, count it, and he's fouled.
Every defensive possession is used. Run back, turn around. Don't let Parker come down. That's the #1 stop.
Parker being net defensive with the Suns, Sean Marion. He goes to his right, gets into the lane. 14-footer is going to go.
Parker had the Suns on the ropes, and then he delivered the knockout blow.
Parker will slow it down. And a foul call on Nash as Parker's shaken up.
I was trying to, penetrate to the basket, and Steve tried to, reach, and we bumped heads. I thought I was beating at first. I thought it was me. I was like, oh, once again, I'm going to have a scarf.
Nash is shaken up also. Well, Parker's going to stay in, but it looks like Nash will not be able to stay in.
Yeah, Steve's got a pretty good gash across the bridge of his nose. That thing's busted wide open. Aaron Nelson could not get it to stop.
With Nash unable to stay in the game, the Spurs took away the home court advantage.
The San Antonio Spurs will steal Game 1 here in Phoenix.
Old veteran basketball team gutted out and grinded, coming to Game 1 on the road and getting a huge victory.
For whatever reason, this happened to me, to us today, and we'll just have to hope we don't have other sort of calamities at the end of the rest of the playoff games.
What I told them was that they should enjoy it this evening. That's probably allowed maybe till about 10 or 11. And after that point, it doesn't mean one damn thing. Not one damn thing.
The Spurs wouldn't be able to enjoy their victory for very long, as the Suns ran them out of the building in Game 2. But as the series shifted to San Antonio, the Spurs knew it was crucial to take both games at home.
Duncan against Thomas. Spins inside on him. Off the glass. Shot is good for Tim Duncan. The bank is open on a Saturday night in San Antonio.
But while Duncan made sure that the Spurs won Game 3,
Steps, takes it inside, draws contact, shot is good, and a foul. And it's all Tim Duncan right now.
Another storyline was developing. The series was becoming extremely personal.
Bowen raised the knee into Nash, and Nash is on the floor.
Mike D'Antoni is very upset. He's yelling something in the direction of Bruce Bowen. Oh, he got hit right in the face by Sean Marion, and they missed it. Onu's shaken up.
Would you classify it as a physical series?
Really? Yeah, well, half of it. Their half. Now we got to make it our half. So, yeah, it's very physical. And, yeah, very physical. You know, can't say anything. We just got to take care of business. All right? Thank you.
The Spurs were one home court win away from putting a stranglehold on the series.
Parker racing. Able to beat that at 7 points.
That's the type of play that has beaten Phoenix in this series.
And for 3.5 quarters, they seemed like they were well on their way.
Tim Duncan is just absolutely having his way with the Phoenix Suns.
But then, inexplicably, they wilted.
We started looking ahead a little bit. We were kind of satisfied with having the lead.
Oh, Nash behind the back. Stoudemire scores going right at Duncan.
Let our guard down, forgot who we were playing, and Phoenix made us pay.
And out of nowhere come the Phoenix Suns in the fourth quarter.
The Suns rode their late comeback to a Game 4 victory, but they couldn't escape San Antonio unscathed.
And here is Nash being chased, and they had him. Oh, look out. As Horry sent Nash flying, and Bell goes at Horry. Nash got up. He wants to go at Horry. The Suns did not appreciate the foul by Robert Horry.
What an incredible sequence we have seen here.
For leaving the bench during the altercation, both Amari Stoudemire and Boris Diaw would be suspended for the pivotal 5th game.
Now you go into Game 5 and there's no Stoudemire and there's no Diaw, and what's the game going to be like? How are they going to play? And I think it was the scariest game of the whole playoffs.
Phoenix is a difficult place to play in the first place, but you knew everybody would be pretty rabid knowing the situation. We would rather have had nobody be suspended and just play.
They always say we're vanilla and we do nothing wrong and we're always the nice guys. So for me, it was funny to see that we was the bad boys.
In an NBA series no one will soon forget, the Spurs and Suns have displayed blood, sweat, and tears. It's been hard-fought, emotional, and gut-wrenching at times. Tonight, it's Game 5, Spurs and Suns from the U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix.
Come on, guys, we gotta be tough mentally. It's gotta be right, precise, every time. Everybody on the board. Everybody's playing. Let's go. Let's go.
Phoenix may have been undermanned, but they came out fired up.
Here is Nash. Shazam! Nash! It's the super shot, and it's 22-11. The Suns on top. Nash drives right side. In the corner, Marion. Marion at the baseline. His floater good. Marion with an 18.9 rebound first half.
What a start for the Phoenix Suns. Playing short-handed, but they ran the Spurs off the court.
We dug ourselves a huge hole, and we're down, 15, 17 points at Phoenix, hanging out for our lives.
The Spurs were a team filled with championship-tested veterans, and now they would need them more than ever.
All year long, we've been building to be that kind of team that doesn't lose composure, that kind of team that doesn't crumble under pressure.
Ginobili drives to his right, takes it into the baseline, and takes it to the rim and scores.
The Suns lead is down to 9. Ginobili from downtown.
Manu Ginobili picking the right time to finally get going in this series.
We were able to be down and understand that we're not out of it and to continue to play.
Duncan pretty deep as he backs in, spins, shoots, scores.
The game is tied at 81.
It had taken the Spurs the entire game to get back to even. And now in the final seconds, they would look to grab the game and the series lead.
We kind of scratched and clawed our way back in, and Tony gets into the paint and he makes the perfect read, the perfect pass, and Bruce rises up right in front of their bench.
Bowen for 3, yes! Bruce Bowen from deep in the corner has given the Spurs an 84-81 lead.
I didn't see it go in at that moment because Steve Nash was closing hard on me, but I could tell it went in by the way the crowd was just a hush.
Well, it's going to be a tough loss for the Suns.
We kept pushing, knocking on that door.